have on the back of this as well. All good stuff. Can't stress it enough. Especially since we had Irene come up the East Coast last year. How many people were affected by flooding? How many people were affected overall? Like 50 million people. How many people weren't prepared? Not necessarily from the wind, but the flooding and some of the other preparedness stuff that we have back here. You know, building the kit, making sure you have water, so forth. A lot of people didn't. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello, this is Charlie Wilson. I'm here at the National Hurricane Center, actually the National Hurricane Conference, and I'm live here in Orlando, Florida. And I have Leslie Chapman Henderson with me. She's from the GreatHurricaneBlowout.org. You started 2 years ago with this initiative. Tell us what started this initiative and how it's progressed over the last 2 years.
Well, we really have learned so much over the years at the Federal Alliance for Safe Homes about how to reach the public, but to abandon the model of trying to scare people into good behavior. So we thought, with social media coming around and the internet and all these options, we needed to create a campaign for hurricane readiness that was fun and engaging. Take the tried and true messages, but package them up in a way that families could get involved and not be put off by the chore, but make it more of a fun event for the family. So the Hurricane Blowout is all about that. Join the blowout so that you can get ready and then breathe easy when the storms come along.
Of course, we stress everybody should be getting ready early, not waiting for a storm to come when all the stores are mobbed or when they're empty, and everything. So before the season starts, we always stress, get your kit ready. So tell us a little bit about some of what preparedness people should be doing.
Well, the first thing to get ready is to start thinking about it and get a plan. Figure out, okay, so am I going to stay or am I going to go? And if I go, where am I going to go? And how am I going to get there? Then the next thing you have to figure out is, if I'm going to stay, where are my supplies? Do I have water, food, medicine, dog food, and all the things I'm going to need? And a lot of times, you're not even going to need it because you've been hit by the storm, but you might be affected by a power outage. So just having these things in place will help you there. The third part of the campaign is called No Power, No Problem, and that's the safety messaging. A lot of times in a hurricane, the deaths and injuries happen after the fact when people are fatigued or tired. We have issues with the first-time use of generators. Unfortunately, there's toxic fumes coming out of those if they're improperly placed. You have to also plug them in correctly and make sure you don't run wires together. So there's a lot of safety stuff tied up in that third leg of the campaign. A lot of fun things too, dining in the dark. We get people to think about, okay, what am I going to eat if I don't have power? So we tell people, hey, come out with your power-free recipes. It's okay if it's peanut butter and jelly, but then have a practice with your family. Dine in the dark. Turn off the lights. Pretend the power is out, and then try to figure out how you're going to pass the time, what you're going to eat. If you've got to have some kind of old-school games for the kids, and how you're going to keep everybody from getting stressed out, because the power outages is as real a threat as anything else. So once you do all these things, then you've got the family ready. Here comes the next part. You've got to get the house ready. So Protect Your Home in a Flash, named after our organization, of course. It's all about the right ways to protect your home and the things that you don't want to do because they're not going to work.
Speaking, what about some of the things you should not do?
Well, every year with the blowout, we have a call to action. This year's call to action is we're going to bust the number one hurricane protection myth, and that is that putting masking tape on windows is a good idea, because it's not. So the call to action is go tapeless, America. Abandon the use of masking tape or any other sticky substance on your glass surfaces, because first and foremost, it's a waste of time. Secondly, it's a waste of your money. And thirdly, and this is the serious side, you could actually be introducing more danger into your home. Think about it. The tape on the glass can make those shards of glass, if they break, even larger and more deadly. And do you really want those flying through the air? The reason we centered the campaign on this year is because we were very sorry to see last year, as Hurricane Irene approached, people up and down the eastern seaboard grabbing masking tape and painter's tape and duct tape and all this tape and putting it on the glass instead of doing things like they should, like boarding up with plywood or deploying shutters. And we said to ourselves, this is a myth that needs to be busted. We did some polling with Harris Interactive, and it pretty much verified our worst fears. 7 out of 10 in a national poll that we did told us that they thought masking tape was a great idea. So Go Tapeless is to set the record straight. We're here at the Hurricane Conference. We're so fortunate. The leader of the Hurricane Center, Bill Reed, has kicked off the campaign. The great message echoed by our FEMA administrator, Craig Fugate. And then from here, I think the message is getting out. Go tapeless. Instead, protect your home the right way. And there you go.
Tape does absolutely nothing against shutters or plywood.
Right.
You know.
Or impact-resistant windows. What's great about all of this is that the marketplace is full of options. All we tell people is we don't care what you do so long as it's tested and approved. Don't waste your money on something that hasn't been verified that it's going to help you. We have a little slogan, another one that is, the only thing worse than no hurricane protection is the wrong hurricane protection.
Absolutely.
That's where the taping piece comes in. One of the nice things about the blowout is it carries you through all this preparedness, but it's not quite as, heavy a task. You can have fun with it and do different things. And once you get through Protect Your Home in a Flash and you've got your house ready, the last piece of the campaign is about helping others. And that part is called Get Affiliated. And what that's all about is once you've got everything ready around your house, we ask people to look around the neighborhood or think of their elderly relatives and say, how can I help them? So either help your family members who aren't ready or get trained and affiliated with your favorite nonprofit. And then you too can join the forces of those that can help the people that get impacted. One of the more exciting things last year out of all the things that happened with the campaign as it's taken off is that more than 18,000 kits were created for neighbors in need who didn't have the resources to have those. And they were distributed throughout New Orleans and Houston and Florida and the East Coast to people who wouldn't have otherwise been able to put those kits together. And it gave them peace of mind. And that's what the blowout's all about. That's what hurricane season prep should be about, is being ready. There's no guarantee you're going to be affected, but if you're ready, it brings it to a whole different place. You can relax, watch the Weather Channel, watch the forecast, and make good decisions.
Absolutely. What's the future for this initiative?
Well, I tell you, with the excitement around the campaign this year and just the, people in Minneapolis were talking about this yesterday, and they don't have hurricanes. There's a lot of engagement around Go Tapeless. So we sat down yesterday and said, well, how are we going to top this next year? But I tell you what, we're going to do some testing again with Harris, and we're going to try to see if we move the needle, which I think we will on the masking tape myth. On June 1st, we're asking everybody in the news media to put on a button and carry the message out to Go Tapeless. So that's the pledge we're asking all of you guys to take on. Once we do the testing and see if we've reached people and we've gotten some awareness moving, then the next step is to bust the rest of the hurricane myths. There are a few others that are out there.
Absolutely. If somebody wanted to know more about this initiative, where could they go to find it?
We're online at thegreathurricaneblowout.org, as well as all the social media channels, and at flash.org. If you go to theblowout.org, there's another nice thing about there are a lot of prizes. And there are daily winners during the season for all kinds of things, from gift cards from Home Depot, NOAA weather radios, or even some grand prizes. A whole house generator installed and everything from Kohler has been donated, one of our sponsors. So it's just fun, and the rewards are there, and then they can breathe easy and be ready.
Leslie Chapman Henderson, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
We made it easy.
We made it very easy.
It's a fun campaign.